Greek mythology, the sirens were creatures that were half women or half mermaid, half bird. It varies depending on the story being told. In the Odyssey, the sirens are seductresses who lure sailors into the sea with their enchanting music. And you may remember, if you've ever read the Odyssey, that Odysseus gets past the sirens on his ship by having all the crew members put beeswax in their ears so they can't hear. But he himself wants to hear the beautiful but dangerous sound of the sirens, so he has himself tied to the mast so he can hear them, but he can't escape and dive into the sea after them. So in our next play, written by the father-daughter team of Dave and Melissa Brandl, we meet some modern-day women who also seduce, and there's no beeswax around. Sirens by Melissa and Dave Brandl. A city park, the present. There are 2 benches. Sofia enters, carrying a book, a notebook, and a couple of pens. She is an attractive woman in her 40s, dressed as if an office manager. She looks where someone might enter between the 2 park benches and carefully places one pen on the ground. She sits and begins reading her book. Antonia enters. She is an attractive woman, dressed a bit provocatively, carrying a small purse. She sits at the bench across from Sofia and speaks with an unseen man.
Oh, you are quite an attractive man. I'm glad to see you again. I think I really am gonna enjoy this. I wasn't sure if you'd call me back. I mean, you know how it is. You meet somebody in a bar, you exchange numbers, and then you never see him again.
Sofia opens her notebook and begins taking notes.
Thank you. I thought you seemed pretty special too.
Olivia enters. She jogs in through the 2 park benches. She's an attractive woman in her 20s, dressed for running. She stops and sees the pen on the ground. She picks it up.
Really? Well, you are the clever man.
Excuse me. Yes? This may seem like an odd question, but what's going on here?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean there's a woman over there dressed for a nightclub, and she seems to be having a date with that man in a public park.
Uh-huh.
And it also seems like you're watching them and taking notes.
That's right.
Is this your pen? It looks the same as that one.
Oh. Oh, yes. Thank you. I must have dropped it.
So, is this performance art or something?
No, not really. It's a date.
That woman almost seems to be throwing herself at him.
That's Antonia's usual style. She's often very friendly at the beginning.
I imagine strippers act with more modesty in a nightclub.
It's an interesting observation. Antonia was once a stripper.
And you approve of her behavior now?
I'm not here to approve or not. I'm making notes for her future efforts.
Efforts in flirting?
Yes, initially, until she moves on in the process.
And the man with her?
The usual kind.
He reminds me of some men I've known. Bastards.
And you think he's one of those kind?
A woman learns. They're pretty easy to detect. Cheap, cheesy, creepy.
That's his type exactly. You have a good eye.
I don't forget.
So, did you deal with it?
What those men do? I've just gotten used to it, I guess. It's part of healing and survival. But sometimes I'd like to just...
Get even.
Yeah, and then some. They should get what they deserve.
Oh, I agree completely.
But then the feeling passes.
Does it? Does it, or do you just push it back down temporarily?
You think you know what I'm talking about.
Too well.
You've been hurt too. Haven't we all?
Many ways.
My hurt was mostly emotional. I mean, I wasn't really beaten or raped.
Well, you're one of the lucky ones then.
You mean you?
Yes, from someone I loved and trusted.
Oh, yes. You are very tempting.
If I can be blunt, she looks and acts, well, rather...
Naive?
Yeah. I mean, I can tell what type he is. She should be able to.
Well, that's by design. It helps in achieving the desired final results. He's very typical of the men Antonia chooses. You know, what they say about a wolf in sheep's clothing. The act helps put the man off guard.
Off guard?
It's important to use all the tools at our disposal. All's fair
In love and war, I know.
Yes.
So, which is this? Is this love or war?
Well, maybe a little of both.
For him, it's love. Or rather, lust.
A conquest. A notch.
I take it it's not love for her?
No.
Is she that cold?
She's that conditioned. She used to love a lot when she had to. She got more emotionally involved than she should have, and that got her into trouble. Now she controls her emotions much better, and the naive character only plays the role when it's needed.
So which one is the wolf? And who is the poor sheep?
He thinks he's the predator.
But he's not.
He doesn't stand a chance.
You mean he won't get his conquest?
I mean, he won't survive the day.
What?
You earlier said you wanted to get even.
Well, yeah, but I didn't mean to say that.
Your words were, and then some. They should get what they deserve. You must have been hurt badly.
Yeah, and my friend too. I watched as she was attacked and I couldn't do anything about it.
So how do you feel now
Angry.
about that man?
Vengeful. But I didn't really mean that.
Sometimes it's necessary. Don't you think he deserves it?
Sure, but this is wrong.
You spoke of survival. Is our survival wrong? Should we just give up the fight?
No, of course not. But this seems like butchery.
It's actually quite painless. When there is a cancer in an otherwise healthy body, the procedure is to remove the cancer.
Yes, but
I had a healthy body once. Healthy mind, too. And now both of them are permanently damaged. I'll never get that back.
And you say it's painless for them?
It's the same way I used to do it, back in the day. Technology, fashions may change, but this battle dates from ancient times. The enemy has not changed. In many ways, he is stronger than ever.
You did this too.
Yes. I supervise now, but then, I studied with those who were the best, dating all the way back to the beginning.
All is done, Sofia.
Any difficulties?
None at all. He's cake. Hello.
Hi. I'm Olivia.
Antonia. Pleased to meet you.
Was he surprised?
Oh, yeah. And such a baby about it. He actually begged me. With tears.
I wonder if he realized what he was giving the opportunity to experience.
Terror.
Feeling vulnerable, feeling helpless to act. The same feelings he gave many women.
Getting what he had given to them.
Getting what he deserved. Right?
Yes, Olivia, that's it exactly.
Being on the other end of the power makes all the difference.
We can lose the shame and take back our dignity and our confidence. It's not complete healing, but it's something. Well, I think you'll understand soon enough.
Still, the ethics of all this is just... No?
Perfect timing. You know him?
Yeah. He's the one I watched while he...
Are you thinking what
I believe we have a new sister among us.
you knew this would happen, didn't you?
As you will, too.
She hands her purse to Olivia.
Here. Everything you need is inside.
I don't know if I can really do this.
You'll know what to do when the time comes. And you said you don't forget.
No. No, I don't. Give me the bag.
Olivia takes the purse from Antonia and walks to the edge. She smiles and waves at a new unseen man. Antonia takes Sofia's notebook and begins taking notes.
The student becomes the teacher.
It's time for the next one.
Huh. You are quite the attractive man. Well, I'm so glad to see you again. I think I'm really going to enjoy this.